obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
A sports injury takes the fun out of sports any time of year. Hi, I'm Paul Scarron, CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. All of our PT folks are trained in lots of specialties, just like a bigger facility, to get you back in the game from a sports injury, or if you're in need of any other physical therapy your doctor prescribes. We offer quality, compassionate care close to home, so don't go out of town. Come see us at the Warner Hospital and Health Services Physical Therapy Department, and we'll get you back in the game.
Are you ready to earn up to an additional $6.50 per hour based on your years of experience? Liberty Village of Clinton is seeking CNAs to join our team. Enjoy flexible scheduling, college tuition assistance, and a full benefits package while working with a team dedicated to delivering high-quality, personalized care in a state-of-the-art facility. Apply in person or online today at www.libertyvillageofclinton.com. Liberty Village of Clinton is a not-for-profit provider and equal opportunity employer.
Seven minutes after 8 o'clock is news time on the WHOW Morning Show. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast, streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. While recent data suggests around 1 in 10 youth are involved in a teen dating violence circumstance, local professionals are hoping to empower that group of young people to find the strength to get out. Jill Maxey is the executive director of Willow Tree Missions in Piatt County and implores young people they deserve the respect of a significant other and are entitled to privacy online.
We know it's difficult dating. It's difficult dating at all ages. And so we just want to encourage the young student, the young daughter, the young girl, the young boy, the young son out there, and just let you know it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to have some self-respect. And you are entitled to some rights in your relationship. You're entitled to the right of privacy, both online and offline. You don't have to share images of yourself, and you certainly don't need to share images of yourself in order to entice somebody to want to be in a relationship with you. If that's the case, then you need to look elsewhere. But you have the right to feel safe and respected. You have the right to decide who you want to date or not date. You have the right to say no at any time, even if you've said yes before, and that applies to sex, to drugs, alcohol, and to whatever dating relationship you're in. Mm-hmm. You have the right to hang out with your friends and your family and do things you enjoy without your partner getting jealous and interfering or being controlling. You have the right to end a relationship that isn't right or healthy for you. Those are okay things. Mm-hmm. And then you have the right to live free from violence and abuse. It is not okay. And we just want to be real clear with young people that, and really anybody, it is not okay. Mm-hmm. And so you have rights and you have the opportunity and the authority to set those boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Parents can play a role in helping their teens involved in one of these circumstances. Andrea Kocher with Dove Inc. of Piatt County echoes Maxey's comments and stresses these things are why parents need to remain involved in their child's online activity.
Yeah, just because something you were comfortable with at one time does not mean that it has to be the long term. Also, especially at this age, whenever we know brains aren't developed yet, making a mistake or doing something you're not comfortable with one time doesn't have to set the statute for what is your norm and what you're going to continue to do moving forward. One piece of advice I have for parents in that situation is if your children know that you are constantly going to be monitoring their activities through social media, through their phone texting, things like that, you then ultimately empower your children to have an excuse not to engage. Mm-hmm. I can't do it because my parents will know about it. They check everything I do. Mm-hmm. So a way to avoid that from ever becoming a circumstance is to empower your children with an excuse. My parents will know. I can't. It takes the pressure off of them and puts it on parents, which we can handle.
Piatt County Schools Resource Officer with the Piatt County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Lindsay Bross, says there are phone apps to help monitor what your kids are doing online.
And there's monitoring software too. One of them is Bark.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just like different types of like So you're not just like, okay, going through the phone like every single, because there's a lot of content and sometimes you miss things. Like even the most basic, okay, if you see one calculator and then there's another calculator, parents need to be a little suspicious, because really you should only have one calculator on your phone. And then there's apps to where if you have another calculator, you could put pictures in there. And to open it, you'll put in this equation on the calculator. So this will be a true looking calculator, and parent will go in there and, nothing happens. But then under 17, under 18 will go in there and type in a code or, this equation, and it will pop up and you'll have all these images on there.
Deputy Bross encourages having conversations about transparency early on with your children, so you're not all of a sudden approaching them with suspicion. She feels this builds a foundation of mutual trust. Next week on Regional Radio, we'll wrap up this topic with how to provide help for teens in these circumstances. First-year Superintendent Adam Clapp has been preparing for his newest role in the Monticello School District for most of the calendar year. He says that's why when he started day one, it was a little different to be on the other side of the superintendent's chair. But because he'd been so well prepared, he did not need to step in and, quote, upset the apple cart.
We're in a fortunate position at Monticello that we've done things well for a long time. So when you walk into a position like this, you don't have to go in and upset the apple cart and try to change a bunch of things right off the bat. I think it was really valuable for me. I had one-on-one meetings with faculty and staff this summer and kind of gauge what our faculty and staff, what their viewpoint is on what we do well and what we can improve upon. And I think one of the things that was impressed upon me in those meetings was how great it is to work with the kids that we have and the staff and faculty that we have. And just being able to continue to support our students and staff and create a positive working environment for students and staff is where I am right now, and continuing to move the ship in the right direction. As far as putting my own mark on it, I think people that have worked with me in the past know that, I'm here, I'm accessible. That's to my student staff and public. So I think just continuing the, tradition of excellence here at Monticello is on the forefront, and, continuing to support our excellent teachers and our students along the way.
Clapp says the start of the school year has gone very well and goes back to the transition work that went into him taking over on July 1. While there were some differences, he feels fortunate to have been able to consistently meet with Dr. Vic Zimmerman to learn about the job.
First day of school was awesome. It was, the transition's been going on for January, basically doing some transition meetings with Dr. Zimmerman, but once the kids got back, it just becomes school again. It's one of those things where you're hustling and bustling all summer long, getting ready for the school year. But once the kids come back, everything's back to normal and kind of gives you a purpose again, and kind of gives our school buildings a purpose. So yeah, first day of school was awesome. Seeing everybody back. We're not under all these COVID restrictions this year. So it's been really nice just to see the kids back in the building, smiling faces when they hop out of the cars. That's just been really awesome. Going back to January, Dr. Zimmerman and I met once a week for about an hour and a half, just going over transition topics. So I felt like walking into the job on July 1st, I couldn't have done anything more to be prepared for the role, but it was definitely a different feeling once you're sitting in the desk. Before July 1st, when you're the high school principal, the buck somewhat stops with you, but there's still the superintendent that would make final decisions on that. And then July 1st hits and you're on the other side of the desk. So it's a little bit different feeling, but it's good. It's really nice to have a great admin team in place at Monticello, and they're transitioning as well. We had several new administrators this year, but yeah, it's a great feeling to step on the other side of the desk. And I had the luxury of being under Dr. Z for 5 years, and then, transitioning from January on was something that a lot of new superintendents don't get to do. So I feel very fortunate to be in that position.
According to Clapp, he'll now have to work much closer with the Monticello Board of Education. He calls the current board excellent and in tune with where the district wants to go.
As a principal, each month we have a little bit of interaction with the board as far as, giving building report each board meeting. But other than that, you just kind of, as an administrator, you get to see the relationship the superintendent has with the board. And I was fortunate to be able to watch Dr. Zimmerman and how he formed relationships with the board, and how he operated board meetings, and it's always nice to learn from the best, and then establish my own style and my own relationships with the board as well. So it was really good. We have an excellent Board of Education, one that is in tune with the direction, our district wants to go. And we want to continue to set the bar for other districts that they can, we want to be the beacon in Central Illinois of, how school is done. I think we've done that for a long time. Monticello has been a well-respected district. And I think that's, a testament to the board and the superintendent pulling in the same direction. And I really do appreciate the teamwork that our Board of Ed has.
On the WHOW Morning Show Wednesday, Clapp indicated he hopes to continue to remain still somewhat visible with the kids of the district. He says it's interactions with the students that appeal to educators, so he hopes to remain involved as much as he can. A $15,000 FFA capital grant from McLean County Farm Bureau will help provide ag shop upgrades for Heyworth High School FFA students. Heyworth FFA will use the funds to invest in 6 new tables for the ag shop with storage space. The FFA capital grant program established by the McLean County Farm Bureau in 2021 is available to all high school ag programs that serve McLean County students. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. Sports is next.
Here at Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton, we're putting out our fall decor and our cooler weather clothes just in time for school. This is Connie reminding you to bring us your donations and to check out our Facebook page or DeWittDailyNews.com for our weekly sales.
This is Ryan Utterback with Utterback Real Estate. Don't get burned.
No worries. I have my SPF 1000.
Time to list your house with us while the market's still hot.
Like bacon wrapped jalapenos.
And that's why you're the other Ryan.
List your house today by clicking the Utterback Real Estate icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. A very young Clinton Maroons cross-country program flew under the radar in 2021. That won't be the case in 2022. The Lady Maroons cross-country team, directed by co-head coach Rachel Anderson Lyons, are looking to repeat as Central Illinois Conference champions, with 3 athletes last year advancing to state.
It was a really exciting turnout because, just like you mentioned, we had a really large freshman class of girls come in. So that was just really exciting to see them develop throughout the season. Even if an athlete runs junior high cross country, they're only racing 2 miles. So no matter what, the transition from junior high to high school, whether they were running or not, is a transition because it's a 3 mile race in high school. So we had a phenomenal season on the girls' side. They won the conference championship. It was the first time since 1994 for our girls to do that. And actually, we had 4 all-conference athletes. Lexi Lord was the champion. Claire Holland was second. Michaela Keppel was third. And Amory Hemphill was 10th in the conference. They ended up second as a team in the regionals and advanced to the sectional meet. And sectionals, we had very high hopes for advancing a team to state on the girls' side, and just unfortunately missed it by a really narrow margin. Top 6 teams advanced, and we finished 7th by just a few points. We did still advance 3 athletes onto state, with Lexi Lord finishing 40th, Claire Holland finishing 42nd, and Michaela Keppel finishing 91st in the state. So on the girls' side, while we didn't advance the whole team, which was definitely a big goal, we still had so many positive, wonderful things happen on the girls' side.
Last season, Drew Moser was a revelation as a sophomore, and Coach Anderson Lyons has seen a lot of maturity for her junior runner this year, setting the tone by working very hard in the offseason.
Yeah, our boys' team was really small in 21. We had, in a varsity race, we raced 7. And we only had 8 total on our roster last year. So it was a really small team. We ended up 4th in the conference. We had 1 all-conference athlete in Drew Moser. He was 7th in the conference. In the regional, we finished 7th overall and did advance to the sectional. So that was very exciting as a team. And at the sectional, we had Drew finishing 30th and narrowly missing. There's a couple at-large bids, kind of how it works with cross-country, like teams advance, and then a couple of individuals will have opportunities to advance. And he narrowly missed it by I think it was 2 or 3 spots, and finished 30th overall. So still a lot of positive things for a super small team. And truly, I'll just say, Drew has really set the stage for being a great example of how to become truly great at cross country. And there's no secret. It's just running and running consistently. Those young boys on the team really took that to heart. In the 21 season, they saw what he did, how he improved. They mirrored it this summer. So we've got kids who are running out of their minds compared to where they were at last year.
Coach Anderson Lyons says her teams have big goals. She believes her boys team will surprise some people this fall and believes the girls team is exceptionally strong given the returning runners they have from last year.
They have big goals, and I love that. We haven't even had any kind of goal meeting yet this season, but individual athletes have still approached us and already said, this is what I want to do this year. So they are definitely inspired and motivated. I think that on the boys side, we have a huge freshman class out this year. Like they could run their own team. It is really, really exciting to see how that's going to change everything for our program. So I think the boys team is legitimately going to surprise people this year. I don't think anyone expects us to be a player at all. And I think that after Saturday, they might know that the boys are. The girls return strong, and so same big goals that we had last year will continue into this year. Would love, to repeat as conference champions and advance, and honestly, both boys and girls teams to state.
In 2020, the program introduced a very unique season opening event at Clinton High School, utilizing the entire campus for a meet, including the junior high school. Coach Anderson Lyons says the event is unique because they're traditionally not held at night, so a night run is very special.
So this is our Light It Up Cross Country Invitational this Saturday night. Saturday, August 27th. This event truly was born out of COVID. So the fall of 2020, there were no football games. And our wonderful AD, Matt Keppel, was like, let's run under the lights on a Friday night. So this was really his idea. We worked really hard, Coach Leanne and our assistant coach, Coach O'Daniel, on course design and making it on campus. So we run on campus at Clinton High School at night under the lights. And it would not be possible without the assistance of our wonderful fire departments. They bring out all the big rigs, they bring out some extra spotlights, and really make the course well lit, even though it's pitch black outside. So we do a lot of fundraising. We give money back to the fire departments for all their great help. So it's nice to showcase the community involvement too. So races will start at 7 p.m. on Saturday. We'll start with the open race. It's both boys and girls. Then the girls varsity race will kick off at 7:40. And then the boys varsity race will kick off at 8:15. And what our design there is to alternate the boys and girls each year so that each gender will have an opportunity to race when it's the darkest. And it's kind of the idea.
New to the event this year, at the conclusion of the closing ceremonies around 9 p.m., there will be a professional grade fireworks display. Coach Anderson Lyons says Darren Moser and his brother will help coordinate that display at Clinton High School.
And one really neat thing, brand new this year, is Drew and Derek got the idea to coordinate a legitimate fireworks show at the conclusion of our awards ceremony. So it'll probably be a little bit after 9 o'clock, but he has raised a lot of money from local businesses to help support that, and it is going to be awesome. So inspired by the Light It Up, we're going to hopefully light up the sky this Saturday night after the race. And Kona Ice will be out there. We'll have, lots of things for sale, lots of fun things. It's going to be really exciting. And like you said, we had a huge turnout last year. It was just, honestly, cross-country races are typically not well attended because usually they're outside of town, a little more remote area. Usually they're not spectator friendly. You can only see your athlete run, once or twice. This course, you'll see your athlete running a lot. And we finish on the track, which I just love. We'll have the music going. We have the best announcer in the state, in my opinion. He actually announces both the cross-country state meet for boys and girls, and obviously then the girls and boys state track meet as well. So he is just the voice of that.
For those that hope to attend the Saturday event, Coach Anderson Lyons asks attendees to avoid the Clinton High School parking lot because that will be a part of the course for the runners. She encourages parking at Clinton Junior High School or at CES across Illini Drive. The Monticello Sages football squad is number 9 in the preseason high school Class 3A football polls. Monticello is coming off an 8-3 campaign with a second-round defeat in the playoffs to Benton. Defending state champion Byron is number 1 in the preseason poll, followed by IC Catholic. Reed Custer, Tolono Unity, and Williamsville tied for 3rd in the poll. Princeton, Mount Carmel, and Eureka come in at 6 through 8 respectively, while Benton rounded out the top 10. Prairie Central and Paxton Buckley Loda from the Illini Prairie Conference received votes in the poll. Defending state champion Wilmington is number 1 in Class 2A, followed by Decatur St. Teresa, Tri-Valley, Pana, and Breeze Mater Dei rounding out the top 5. Maroa Forsyth checks in at number 1 in the preseason poll. In Class 1A, Colfax Ridgeview and Central A&M are 3 and 4 respectively. In 1A, Lena Winslow is number 1 with Arcola checking in at number 9, and Tuscola received votes in the poll. In Class 4A, Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin is number 1. Rochester is number 3. Muhammad Seymour received a vote for first place in Class 5A, but comes in at number 3 to start the season. Kankakee and LaGrange Park Nazareth are 1 and 2 respectively. Peoria is number 6 in the 5A poll. Morton and Decatur MacArthur received votes in the 5A poll. Washington received votes in the 6A poll, but did not crack the top 10. East St. Louis is the top team in 6A, while in 7A, Pekin and Normal Community received votes, but did not make the top 10. Mount Carmel is number 1, and Lincoln Way East is number 1 in Class 8A. 3 times, Gavin Sheets went to the plate with the bases loaded Wednesday and came through on 2 of those appearances, driving in 3 in Chicago's 5-3 win over the Baltimore Orioles. In a game heard here on WHOW, Lucas Giolito pitched impressively into the 7th inning. Yohan Moncada pulled off a slick double play for the Sox as they left 14 runners on base after stranding 13 the night before, but managed to split the 2-game set despite all the miscues. Giolito allowed a run and 4 hits in 6 1/3 innings, rebounding from last week's effort in which he gave up 7 runs in 3 innings against the Astros. Kendall Graveman helped out of a work out of a bases-loaded jam in the 7th thanks to Moncada's play at third. With the bases loaded and 1 out, Chicago was up 3-1. Jorge Mateo hit a bouncer right at Moncada, who lunged to his right, snagged it, and while doing so, tagged third with his bare hand, and then his left foot, he threw to first, completing the twin killing. The Sox remain 4 games behind first place Cleveland in the AL Central. Lance Lynn will start for Chicago opposite Jordan Lyles in the series finale on Thursday night. Lynn is 2-2 with a 3.06 ERA in his last 6 starts. Zach McKinstry homered and drove in 3 runs, helping the Chicago Cubs beat the St. Louis Cardinals 7-1 Wednesday night. Nico Horner had 3 hits for Chicago, and Jan Gomes had 2 RBIs. Rowan Wick got 5 outs for the win, leading a solid performance by the Cubs bullpen. Lars Nootbaar homered for the NL Central leading Cardinals. Corey Dickerson finished 4 for 4. The Redbirds dropped to 17-5 in August. Chicago and St. Louis split the first 4 games of the unusual 5-game set. The series finale is this afternoon. Dakota Hudson faces Marcus Stroman today. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Midstate Eye, located at 125 West Main in Clinton, where they believe life is all about your vision, says congratulations to the 4-H'ers that have brought their animals, displays, and exhibits to this year's fairs. You've made all of us in the Central Illinois community proud. Hats off to the local 4-H'ers for their hard work at this year's fair. From Midstate Eye at 125 West Main in Clinton.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The Uvalde, Texas School Board has fired Police Chief Pete Arredondo. It happened at a packed school board meeting last evening, some 3 months after the Robb Elementary School massacre. It is not only conservatives questioning President Biden's plan to redistribute student loan debt, the so-called loan forgiveness scheme. Some in the liberal mainstream media now asking how the plan will be paid for. First Lady Jill Biden testing positive for COVID-19 again. It is an apparent rebound case of the virus.